Hi, this is Ilma Art Studios photograph for today. This is train station right in the town where I live in Orangeville. Hi, check my website at ilmaarts.com. That's ILMAARTS.com. Today I'd like to share with you my poem devotional extracted from Psalm 23 verse 4. It says, "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me." Here's my poem. Fear not. When you go through the darkest valley, fear not, for God will be with you totally. He is close beside you when you're in pain. Believe, and your hope will not be in vain. When you feel overwhelmed with sorrow, don't worry, for there is always a tomorrow. Fear not, for He will protect and comfort you. He came to save you and get you through. Here's my essay. Are you struggling with something in your life? Are you feeling sad and burdened right now? Don't be afraid. You're not alone. There may be others who are going through the same things you are experiencing, maybe worse than where you are right now. When you start to get overwhelmed, look around you or talk to someone and you will be surprised that you are probably much in a better place than someone else. Count your blessings instead of focusing on what you don't have. The Bible tells us that even when we walk through the darkest valleys, we shouldn't be afraid, for God will always be there to protect and comfort us. Prayer. Lord, help me to focus on your love, power, and protection. Reflection. Now, how can you overcome fear when you're overwhelmed with life's challenges? I'd like to answer that reflection question. In a case like mine, because I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, but I could say that it's more a complex trauma than PTSD. It is very hard to calm down when you get triggered. And what causes the panic is the constant fear that what you have experienced before is actually experiencing at that point. What happens to somebody when they have like a trauma is that their brain shuts down whenever the trigger comes back, and it actually goes back to the way it was when you experience the trauma itself. So in other words, it's like there's no time, there's no time that lapse that went through. So it's like you're still in that same event that happened when you get triggered. If there's a trigger that reminds you of that same event, it will bring you back to that same memory. But thanks be to God that there is a God who can heal anything. So because I was doing it on my own, and I was trying to change the way I think and trying to help myself with managing the stress of the trauma, I was not totally successful for a while until I allowed God and surrendered everything to Him. That's when He actually started healing me. That's when I cooperated with the healing powers of God. But it's very hard to tell somebody, especially when they have trauma, to say to tell them don't be afraid or fear not, because that is totally out of the context when you go through all when your brain goes through this kind of thing that it goes through when you are going back and forth to the tape recorder of what exactly happened. You're going through the same feelings that you experience. So in Psalm 23, it tells us how much the Lord is such a good shepherd to us that He will walk us through the darkest valley. Even at that point that we feel so helpless and hopeless, if you just focus on God and see His power and see how much He has provided for us and how He can deliver anybody from whatever they're going through, then fear shouldn't be there. And fear is the opposite of love. Anger is not the opposite of love. The opposite of love is fear, because in perfect love there is no fear. Because when you fear, that means that you don't trust. And when you don't trust, that means that that love isn't perfect yet. So I invite you to trust the Lord, because He's always there. He will never forsake you. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope that you will be able to look up to God and surrender all your fears to Him, because He is always there, and He went through all the most traumatic, the most violent physical beatings that any human being could experience, and yet He was victorious over all of these things because He trusted the Lord. Thanks for watching, and this is Ilma from Ilma Art Studio. I hope you will check my website at ilmaarts.com for more of my artworks and photographs. Have a wonderful day.